So, Corey, can you give a bit of an overview just for those who weren't able to hear about who you are, what you do? We know you're across the pond, but tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Cool. My name is Corin Lightborn, Senior Business Development Coordinator with the Bermuda Business Development Agency. I assist international companies in setting up in Bermuda. Don't get into the weeds, but we have an extensive network of service providers that will help you guys or anybody that's interested to incorporate, get licensed, and operate as efficiently as possible. I've been with the Bermuda Business Development Agency. It will be for 4 years on October 31st. And I'm happy to be here today, Black Tech Fest.
Well, thank you so much. I'm really excited to have you join. So if I jump straight into it, I suppose, look, if we were told to leave and we wanted to go somewhere else, I think there's lots of places in the world that we want to go. Help us understand why Bermuda, I suppose maybe it's the first point. Like why, tell us, for those who don't know, who those aren't familiar, they might have only heard about it because of Bermuda Triangle. Does that exist? Tell us about why Bermuda?
Listen, I'm glad that you brought that up, the Bermuda Triangle, right? Because I actually went to school in Manchester, and that was a question that I got every day. Bermuda Triangle, how did you get hurt? Bermuda Triangle. I used to start making up really intricate stories about, I used to go outside and turn around 3 times and pat myself on the head, and that's how I got hurt. But that's another conversation for another day. So why Bermuda? Without sounding too biased, Bermuda is very nimble, very agile, very adaptable with the times. And I say that to kind of lay the foundation for the Work from Bermuda certificate. At the beginning of the pandemic, which was, I want to say we started experiencing it in about March 2020, the whole world went into lockdown around that time. And once everything started opening up a few months later, we actually enacted the Work from Bermuda policy. So that is a kind of certificate program that enables people to come and live in Bermuda for a period of up to 365 days. It costs $263. So that would be about, what's the exchange rate now? So 180 pounds, I think it is.
It's really that good.
Yeah, applicants must be 18 years and older, and you must be able to support yourself in Bermuda for that period of 365 days. You don't have to stay 365 days consecutively, but it gives you the ability to come and, if you want to stay the whole year, stay the whole year.
Can you come with somebody? Is it just you? So you have, your other half, and you'd like them to sample a dark and stormy in the place of origin. And for those who want, Gosling's Rama sponsoring the festival, so you can have one in person if you're there on Thursday. But that's my product placement. Is it just for you, or can you come with somebody? How does it work like that?
So the actual certificate applies to you as an individual, but if you have a family member that wants to apply, you would apply for that family member separately and pay the separate fee. So it's $263 per certificate per person that wants to come and live and work in Bermuda. Work from Bermuda, because you have to be employed. You have to demonstrate that you are employed with a company that's outside of Bermuda, or if you are self-employed, you have to be able to prove that your company is registered in a jurisdiction outside of Bermuda, and you have a continuous annual income, right? So you have to be able to support yourself while you're here. We've had a couple instances where people have come with their families and fallen in love. Yeah. With the island.
so just before I come on to why Bermuda then, so if somebody wants to literally get up and go, they can fill out a form, pay $260 in the US, and that's it. They don't have to go to the embassy. They don't have to is there anything else that people need to think
about? Specifically, I would say that you just need to make sure that any visa requirements that are relevant to you as a person, you would need to make sure you sort that out, especially if you're connecting through the US. It enables you to come and live in Bermuda.
Okay, so let me just roll back then to my second part. So where is Bermuda for those who don't know? Obviously, Google Maps does exist, and there are other mapping technologies available. But give us a heads up about why. It's coming to winter here in the Northern Hemisphere. Is Bermuda a better place to go? What happens in Bermuda? What's Bermuda's exports? If I was to roll up to Bermuda, where do I go? If I want to spend there, do I get a hotel? Are there Airbnbs? How does it work?
So we do have hotels, a number of beautiful properties located around the island. Bermuda's actually about 22 kilometers, 22 square kilometers in total. So it's really, really small. Really homey, but not homey, but like hospitable. You come there, you feel like family. Everybody's friendly. It's very safe. Bermuda is located across the pond. So we're 400 nautical miles. I'm between like miles and kilometers, so do forgive me, Google Maps that, but it's about 400 nautical miles off Cape Hatteras in North Carolina. So we are about a 90-minute flight from New York. It's about 2 hours from Bermuda to Charlotte, 3 hours from Bermuda to Miami, and then it's about a 6.5-hour flight direct from Bermuda to London via BA. The climate, we have 4 seasons. So it does get a bit mild in the wintertime, but not like, I want to say not like the UK from what I remember. I remember going home on Christmas breaks and it still being sunny, palm trees out, like birds chirping and everything. And I used to send pictures to my friends, like my friends back in the UK, like, see what you're missing out on? Come to Bermuda, come to Bermuda. So it's an island vibe. You get a little bit of everything. It's not hot all year round, like some places like Jamaica or Barbados, but it is a beautiful island. Wintertime in Bermuda is actually around February, March. So that's when you'll get the coldest of the cold that it gets in the year. And that would be about...
I went in February. I went this February and it's still t-shirts in the day. Like I've been to a lot of countries, over 56 to tout my own horn. And I've got to say some of the most beautiful places I've seen generally in that, like certainly beaches and like, lagoons were in Bermuda. So yeah, there's a lot going on, and that picture either there behind Corinne is Bermuda. So let's talk about the elephant in the room a bit. And I know the PR team have warned me and told me what to say and what not to say. So I'll set this up in a very nice way with the caveat. Everybody has to investigate their own personal circumstances. This is not some sort of individual financial advice or anything like that. But Bermuda is known for lots of different reasons, and I think a lot of people associate, fancy yachts and low taxes as one of them. So, if I wanted to move, like with this nomad, am I becoming like a resident of Bermuda? Like, what does that mean for me? Am I still employed by my employer? Does it differ if I'm like a contractor, for example? Like, where can people go if they, if you can't provide the answers and they want to know more information, etc.?
So as a work from Bermuda certificate holder, you're not working in Bermuda. So you wouldn't be double taxed. You are actually still employed by your employer in the UK or in the US or wherever you're based, right? As far as more intricate details around tax, that kind of falls within our remit in terms of referrals. So we have a network of auditing companies, tax advisors that we can put anybody that's interested in exploring this opportunity in touch with, just to iron out any specific questions that they have. As far as the technical details are concerned,
you got to.
I refer people to the experts in taxes.
The one thing you are an expert in though is businesses. So if you're a business owner, you're thinking about moving your organization to Bermuda as like part of this, I suppose. Help me understand what that looks like, because for example on this session, there'll be people operate as contractors or sole traders. There might be entrepreneurs, small business folks. If someone was considering multiple reasons to be in Bermuda, like how does that work? What tell us from, I suppose, what you do specialize in, which is supporting businesses as well.
Yeah. So, and I love that you've asked this question, because we actually had a case where this was at the beginning, just after the work from Bermuda certificate was introduced to the world. So we had a fella come in from Toronto and he owned an investment company. He applied for the work from Bermuda certificate, came here and was able to meet the local business community. Bermuda is actually a blue chip financial services jurisdiction. And we just recently were removed from the EU grey list. Woo! Back when he whitelist. So he came to Bermuda, he worked, he was able to network and get to know the island, the climate. And he actually ended up setting up a Bermuda subsidiary of his investment company in Bermuda, and he now lives here and is operating here. So if you are interested, you come to Bermuda, you get the sample of Bermuda life and you don't want to leave. Your first step towards, building your business in Bermuda would be to get incorporated. Come to us and we can guide you through the process from a very high level. But it would be to get incorporated with the registrar of companies. If you are a financial services company, it would be to, get the approval from the Ministry of Finance and from the Bermuda Monetary Authority, depending on what licenses or what areas you're going to operate in. We have a number of structures that are available, specifically if you are looking to operate in Bermuda but not serve the Bermudian population. So your clientele would all be international and based outside of Bermuda. We have a structure called an exempted company, which allows you as a non-Bermuda resident to come here, set up shop, and operate from Bermuda. I don't want to say it's a simple process because the lawyers will be able to advise on the specifics around that, but as the BDA, a part of our kind of offering is this concierge service where we not only put you in touch with the service providers, but we have eyes on the applications and we can, release any pain points or get things moving where necessary. So there are plenty of options in terms of structures. Specifically, one of my largest focuses is on the Digital Asset Business Act that governs digital asset exchanges, wallets. If you're launching a token from Bermuda or a stablecoin or anything like that, we offer the regulation and the certainty that a lot of companies in the fintech area, are looking for, right? We also have a test license. So if you're looking to test your proof of concept while on island, that takes about a month to get in total. Very quick, you can be set up operating in no time. One other thing is, I just have to say it because it's like the next step up from work from Bermuda, right? Let's say you come to Bermuda, you fall in love and you're like, I want to live here for more than a year. You can graduate into the Economic Investment Certificate Program, which is a program that if you have invested or are planning to invest a minimum of $2.5 million into the Bermudian economy, that can be into an existing charity, setting up a new charity, existing business, setting up a new business, real estate, purchasing of government bonds, that would entitle you to, depending on the approval from the Permanent Secretary Minister, a 5-year residency certificate. And at the end of that process, it's evaluated and you can possibly get an extension on that residency certificate as well. So those are just the options that we have in terms of residency and business structuring in Bermuda. Very welcoming environment, very sure, very certain, very safe, and beautiful. As you can see.
So I've got like one more question kind of that I'm going to ask, but just as a heads up, if anybody does want to ask Corinne anything, please do message in the chat, and we can obviously make sure that we try and come to those questions kind of before. Yeah, I suppose like my final kind of like pre-scripted question kind of goes back to like some of the stuff that we're talking about at the beginning, which is the why Bermuda. So I think we've spoken about it from the almost tourism point of view. It's a beautiful place, there's lots to see, there's lots to do. I suppose, why would someone be interested in doing business in Bermuda? Like, what does it, you've covered some of the stuff that you kind of offer to the concierge, but are there any other like highlights or things that you would really like to point out?
So we offer these regulatory certainty that a lot of companies in the financial services industry are looking for. We have the talent pool. We are we have an extensive history in the insurance and reinsurance market. So our insurance industry started back in 1970 with Solvency II equivalent in the reinsurance space. I mentioned that we're a small jurisdiction, so 22 square kilometers. And that means that the city of Hamilton, I think, is about, I don't want to say 2 miles wide. Don't quote me on the exact area of it, but you can walk one end of the city to the other. What does that mean specifically? That means that we have the big four. We have PwC, KPMG, Deloitte, EY in Bermuda, right? Within walking distance, right? So you have the key decision makers in the reinsurance space, in the banking industry, in the audit and tax advisors and all of that, right? You have them all within walking distance. So you can corral your team of decision makers in Bermuda you can see everybody that you need to see within a day, really. So we have the accessibility. Our regulator is also very accessible in comparison to other regulators around the world. Very accessible, very nimble. They want to interact with companies that have new ideas and they want to get their minds wrapped around new concepts. So they stay very current when it comes to new trends in the industries, especially when it comes to fintech. Fintech is one of my major focuses, so that's why I keep going back to that, right? So it's the accessibility, it's the regulatory certainty, it's the safety from a lifestyle perspective. We are also committed to cooperation, compliance, and we have global tax standards as well. And we also, remain competitive and also retain our value proposition when it comes to our existing reputation.
Inverted commas competitive. So I don't think, am I correct in saying this? And this is me saying it. Like, is it that there is no corporation tax in Bermuda?
It is a tax neutral jurisdiction. But the people that can get into the specifics of that, I can get anybody connected when it comes to corporate gains tax and all of that. We don't have a corporate gains tax as far as I know. But as I said, we do have
it if we're interested.
For sure.
Yeah. What you'll find might delight you depending on what type of business you run. So there's a couple of questions in the chat. I think one of the first ones that I see is around like how do digital nomads interact? And I suppose there's healthcare, but just the general infrastructure. Say if someone gets ill, say like what can they access that? Is that something that they need to look into further? Is it what's the case?
We do have Bermuda Hospital. We have a hospital, obviously. We have a number of private practices, right? And I know that at the beginning, the local insurers, they did have packages for people who were coming to Bermuda, special packages, who were coming to Bermuda and they work from Bermuda certificate. But if you have private health insurance coming out of the UK, and that spans internationally, then you will basically claim on that. But we can put you in touch with the local insurers to discuss what your options are, because I know it varies from provider to provider on island, but there are options available.
Yeah, there's some questions also about the cost of living and nightlife. So do you want to take one and then the other?
Cost of living, I'm gonna handle this in the most gentle way possible. So if you're based in London, you won't be surprised at all about cost of living. It is a beautiful island. It is very small, and we import most of our products. But yeah, the cost of living is a bit high. So if you are thinking about coming and living for up to 365 days, sorry.
Don't be a backpacker.
That's right. Don't be a backpacker. I mean, you can if you can make it work. If you're really wise with your money, you can make it work. But definitely
you want to enjoy the island. That's what I'll say. Like having been there, like make sure you have some money to have fun.
For sure. I mean, you can do it for free. You can. Bermuda is a beautiful island, right? So I'm really big on nature and like sightseeing and stuff. So you can go around the island and I don't want to say do a little bit of hiking, but we have a lot of parks and a lot of greenage and all of that. But yeah, definitely have some money saved up if you want to go to the bars. We have a few clubs around the island, sports clubs that have that little pub, like kind of pub vibe for anybody that's based in the UK. You have your more commercial clubs that are based in the city of Hamilton. It's a really nice vibe at nighttime.
Got it. Cool. And then I think there was a question in there which I'll kind of cover, but let me know if you've got anything to add, which is just on how this worked with trying to transition to the UK with Bermuda with a young family. So I think we covered this at the beginning, but not sure if the audio cut us off, which was just really like the digital nomad certificate is, I suppose, per person. So you would apply with the people. I know you said that it's for over 18. So is there anything to add on the under 18s, or is it circumstance specific and kind of find out more?
Under 18s, I don't have the specific answer for children. I know that people have come to Bermuda on their work from Bermuda certificate before that have kids. As far as what the process was like for them, I don't know that specifically, but we do have contacts within the Department of Immigration that vet the applications that will be able to answer that. So anybody that has those specific questions, shoot me an email, Corin, Korin, at BDA for Bermuda Business Development Agency.bm. So Corin at BDA.bm, and we'll put you in touch with the right people.
Amazing. Look, there you go, folks. And Maria from the team has also put contact us information from the BDA in the chat as well. And there's still a few more questions, so I'll quick fire those as well. One of them is, what's people's experience with the time difference? How far away is Bermuda from like London, from New York? What's the time zone like?
Yeah, so that's actually another benefit of doing business in Bermuda, because it allows you to interact with the London market as well as the East Coast and West Coast markets as well. So London is actually 4 hours ahead of Bermuda. And Bermuda is actually 1 hour ahead of New York. So we are prime place. So like our midday, we will catch you guys at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and then New York would be 11 o'clock. So you can interact with Europe and the East Coast of the United States.
Yeah, well positioned. There's one around like salary requirements for the digital nomad. Like, is there like a base level in that? Do you know, or
Not a base level per se, but you do have to demonstrate that you are employed and that you do have a substantial means or continuous source of annual income in order to support your lifestyle in Bermuda, in order to, come to Bermuda, be able to pay your Airbnb if you're going to be living in one. If you know somebody in Bermuda that said, yeah, you can come stay with me for free for a year, then that works well for you. But yeah, it's no specific, and we can send out the FAQ list that kind of touches on this, but it's no specific threshold or minimal salary requirement as it stands there. You just have to be able to prove that you can sustain yourself for that period of up to 365 days.
Got it. So Corinne, we're running close to time. So just for anybody who missed out at the beginning, basically we put on this session because loads of people are xenophobic and tell us to leave. Well, if we do leave, it sounds like there's an island in the middle of the, I was going to say Pacific, the middle of the Atlantic.
Yes.
The time zones. that is more than welcoming, and has a lot of the stuff sorted out. And if nothing else, has amazing people who are willing to be here today to support and make it happen for everybody. So, Corinne, is there anything else you want people to leave us with? Obviously, you shared your contact there, but if people want to find out more, where should they go? What do they do?
If you want to find out more, you can visit us at www.bda.bm. That has information on the Work from Bermuda certificate, the economic investment certificate, and a lot more information on what we do as an agency. If you are, ready and want to hop on a plane and come to Bermuda at the nearest opportunity, we also are going to be hosting the Tech Summit, the Bermuda Tech Summit, for the first time in person since its inception in 2019. That's going to be from the 26th to the 28th of October. It ends the day before my birthday, so that's even more of a reason to come down, come celebrate with me that weekend. But yeah, the Bermuda Tech Summit is going to be from the 26th to the 28th of October. Come down. It is $395 to register, and hotels are getting quick because the PGA Golf Tournament is going to be on that weekend as well. So it's going to be a nice little buzz around the island. Come to Bermuda.
Well, thank you so much. And as I said, for anybody who's coming along to Black Tech Fest in person who wants a taste of Bermuda, the amazing teams at Goslings, which are a Bermudan brand, they are the people who own the trademark to the Dark and Stormy. It's not a Dark and Stormy unless it has Gosling's rum in it.
That's right.
They have supplied us with a number of ones that everybody can taste. So if this hasn't convinced you, you've got another opportunity to try something that will. So please do make sure that, if you're able to attend, you do hang around for that at the end of Thursday. Apart from that though, Corinne, thank you so much. And we will make sure all the links and everything go out when people can catch us on demand. Thanks to the team for making this happen. Hopefully I'll see you back out in Bermuda for the Tech Summit.
Hopefully. Kind of disappointed I'm not going to be in London for Thursdays. It has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me, Ash.
Well.
All good.
All right,
Take care.
take care. Thanks all.
Bye bye.